So Cari Champion decided a couple of days ago that she no longer wants to work at the worldwide leader of sports, aka SportsCenter. Her last week on ESPN will be the last week of January, so tune in to that, because after that, there's no more Cari Champion working with ESPN. Now, let's do a quick bio on Cari Champion. She started her claim to fame as far as sports journalism on the Tennis Channel. And then she got hired by ESPN, to do SportsCenter updates, SportsCenter at night, ESPN News, SportsCenter update segments. And then she got promoted and got her first opportunity in the ESPN spotlight by being the moderator of First Take. Now, she was the second moderator. First Take had 3 moderators, okay? And I forgot the original moderator. It was her, then Cari Champion, and now Molly Karam. And I felt like out of the 3, Cari Champion did a better job than the other moderators, okay? So she had to wait to get... For her to get her next big break, which was being the host of SportsCenter Coast to Coast and Sports Nation. Okay, she also has a podcast called Be Honest that's sponsored in part with ESPN. Now, quick rundown on those 3 shows. Sports Nation used to be hosted by Marcellus Wiley and Michelle Beadle. They no longer work for ESPN. Marcellus Wiley works at FS1. Michelle Beadle is Michelle Beadle. Okay, she hasn't gotten, I don't think she's really in the running to go back into network journalism. Okay, I think she just wants to just say her things on social media, but that's neither here nor there. And Cari Champion did a SportsCenter Coast to Coast. Now, she recently signed a multi-year deal with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN, and one of the stipulations in her contract was she wanted to stay in California. She's married, she's a California girl, and she didn't want to travel back and forth from California to Connecticut to California. Okay, so and that was something that ESPN had no problems with, and that kind of in a way helped ESPN because she was the new host of Sports Nation and SportsCenter Coast to Coast, and ESPN has their SportsCenter West Coast called SportsCenter LA. All right, so all of that ties in and fits perfectly with ESPN and Cari Champion. Now, Cari Champion, there's a lot of rough patches along the way as far as Cari Champion with ESPN. One of the first things Cari Champion had to deal with was First Take. First Take hardcore fans just wanted First Take to just be consistently the same. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith debating back and forth, and the moderator just sitting there in the middle, basically being the referee. Cari Champion added a different element in the room as far as being moderator at First Take. She would also throw out topics. She would also comment on topics as well and debate Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. I felt like Cari Champion had a better relationship with Skip Bayless. As far as Stephen A. Smith goes, Stephen A. Smith looked at it as stealing some of his shine, some of his opportunities, particularly on subject matter that they necessarily did not agree on. Okay, and that was one of the reasons why she left a First Take, because of her relationship with Stephen A. Smith. Now, you have to realize Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless are two of the most egotistical men in sports journalism. Okay, they kind of want to overtake the room. They want everyone to know that's in the room that they are the man. They're the show. Okay, and you just here along for the ride. And Cari Champion was not having it. Okay, but the powers that be at ESPN saw that as a good thing. I apologize for the noise in the background. Saw that as a good thing and promoted her to other shows as well. Now, when Michelle Beadle got let go by ESPN or fired, however you want to call it, and Marcellus Wiley did not renew his contract and went to FS1, there was a big hole for Sports Nation. Who was going to host the show? And I said earlier in the video, her contract, when she renewed her contract, it came at a perfect time, because ESPN was at the crossroads of letting go of a lot of journalists. Because at the time, ESPN was the place to be. If you wanted to succeed in sports journalism, if you want to be a sports reporter, if you want to work for a sports network, the network everybody wanted to go. The most when it comes to talent, everyone went to ESPN because they was the big man. There was the big man in the house. Okay, yes, CBS Sports existed, NBC, ABC, FS1, but when you look at those networks and you compare them to ESPN, there's really no competition. ESPN was the juggernaut, and everyone else were like the kids, the step kids, in sports journalism. Okay, and it was that way until ESPN had to let go of a lot of their talent because because of a lot of, because the money just simply was not there to give everyone a major contract. Okay, that's why they laid off a lot of analysts, a lot of hosts, and things of that nature. Okay, so, and it's funny, from 2017 to 2020, the ratings are still they're back up. A lot of the ESPN shows are more successful rating wise than shows that like Undisputed first on FS1 and other shows on other networks. ESPN is still the juggernaut, and they're still the king when it comes to ratings, but they had to downsize. Okay, and a lot of people thought that Cari Champion was going to be one of those individuals that was no longer going to have a job with ESPN, but ESPN saw a future with Cari Champion. Okay, not only Cari Champion is very attractive and very beautiful, but she's she's highly intelligent, particularly with sports. Okay, so they did not want. There was never an opportunity or there was never a thought of Cari Champion no longer working at ESPN. They signed her to a multi-year deal. Okay, so Cari Champion, why is she leaving ESPN? Now, everyone has their thoughts and their opinions. No one really knows because Cari Champion has not discussed it. But to me, I feel like the real reason why Cari Champion is leaving ESPN because there's no upside in staying at ESPN. Okay, she has pretty much done everything that you can possibly do at the worldwide leader of sports. She's been on NBA programming as well as NBA games, NBA shows, hosts a lot of NBA shows. She has done some NFL. I don't think NFL is her cup of tea, but that's neither here nor there. She's also been a host at the Primetime SportsCenter, and ESPN created a show, SportsCenter Coast to Coast, for Cari Champion. So there's really no accomplishment that's something that she's willing to do at ESPN. Now, I also feel there's a second part. I feel like when you talk about sports journalism, you don't necessarily have to sign your soul. You don't have to sign yourself to a big network to cover sports journalism. Okay, so I can see Cari Champion going the independent route. I do not see Cari Champion working at Fox or NBC, ABC, or anything like that, because I think Cari Champion, her name, her brand is big, where people are still going to tune in and follow and see what Cari Champion do. Now, the difference between Cari Champion and Michelle Beadle is when, particularly on social media, Michelle Beadle, when she do tweets, when she is on Instagram or Facebook, it's always something related into her world, okay? Not necessarily the sports world. Cari Champion is a little bit different, okay? So I feel like with sports media and with social media, I feel like the opportunities that you can be able to do to be a successful journalist without being signed to a big time network, you can do those same things and pretty much make the same noise and the same impact than signing yourself at ESPN or Fox Sports 1. And I feel like that's the route Cari Champion is going. I think she's going to be more freelance. She's going to do the things she wants to do. And not to say that ESPN was not going to allow her to do what she wanted to do, but that's pretty much how she's looking at it as a new page. She's ready to turn the page. Now, what's going to happen to SportsCenter Coast to Coast? What's going to happen to Sports Nation? Clearly, I feel like with Sports Nation, that show is going to continue to still thrive in the sports landscape. To me, I just didn't feel Sports Nation was a critically acclaimed show that talked about hard-hitting subjects and things like that. They did talk about things like that, but it's more lighthearted, the majority of their content. Now, with SportsCenter Coast to Coast, L. Duncan is going to be hosting that, as well as, I forgot the other guy's name, that was also hosting it with Cari Champion as well. L. Duncan is still going to do the afternoon Sports Center, and she's going to do SportsCenter Coast to Coast, and she's going to do it in Bristol, Connecticut. Okay, so as far as this is going to be a loss for ESPN, but I don't see this as a huge loss. Okay, but I feel like I don't think there's no animosity between Cari Champion and ESPN. I just felt like she pretty much has done everything at ESPN, and I most people, they would just run its course, run the duration of their contract, and then re-up or just retire working somewhere that you're really not happy at. And then you got people like Cari Champion that's saying, look, yeah, the money's fine and the opportunity is great, but I feel like there's greater opportunity out there, and I'm ready to plunge in and take that opportunity. And I think that's what Cari Champion is doing. I wish her the best of luck. And you're going to always hear from Cari Champion if you're a huge follower, particularly on social media. If you follow Cari Champion, she's still going to light it up on social media, and it is what it is. Okay, so tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm out.